Hey, everyone. Welcome back. This is Unapologetically Badass. It's Sierra here with you today and my
Hello.
amazing friend Renee.
Hello there, darling. Hello, everyone. How are you?
We are so excited because we want to dive into the things your mama never told you. Maybe should have, maybe she couldn't. I don't know. We'll
Right.
see. This is like one of those subjects that, probably make you cry or make you laugh hysterically
Yep.
or just get you to really think. Right, Renee? So
Right.
grab your cup of tea, grab your glass of wine, whatever it is for you. If
Yep.
you're on a walk, just listen in, but be ready to have some emotions.
Yep. Absolutely.
'Cause
Absolutely.
being
I
a
love it.
mom is hard,
Being
right?
a mom is hard. Being a woman is hard. It's
Harder.
hard.
It
I think
is.
it, I mean, it's different. I can't say, I don't want to women and superior and all this stuff. Men have it tough too, but we each have
We
our
do.
hardness,
Yes, we
I mean,
do. Yeah.
I don't want to
It's just
downplay.
that our hardness is different because we're built to be emotional creatures.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so we live where men were built to be more logical. So they and it has been proven that men can take a situation and move it to the logical side of the brain within minutes, and women, it sometimes takes days.
Yes, yes.
Right? So if you understand that, if you're a son or a father or a husband, please understand that it doesn't chemically just move over to that logical side for us. Some it does faster, and if you train your brain, you can do it faster. But it's like we seep in it. We dwell in it. We worry more, right, Renee?
Yeah, well, it's really funny when you say that because it makes me giggle because of the fact that I know that it takes me a little bit to get to the logical, and
Me too.
Tony is like the epitome of logic.
Yes. So
And
is Derek.
there are times where he will give sound advice, and I'm just like, I'm doing everything that I can to shut my fucking mouth. And I'm like, I know he's right, but I don't want to like admit he's right now. I need to like
Yeah.
process my feelings and
Yes.
my thoughts before I
Yes.
get to an agreement.
I'll tell Derek things like, "I don't want you to fix it right now. I
Yes,
just want to cry to you. I
yes,
don't want you to try to make it better, okay? There's nothing you can say."
right,
And
right.
he's like,
Okay.
"Okay, I gotcha. Aye, Captain." Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Fun things. And there's like these lists out there that I've seen in the world. And this is just like such a fun topic because there's actual lists, right? Like messages from moms telling their kids, these are the things that I never told you.
Yeah.
But we also can say these are the things that your mom should have told you,
Mhm.
but growing up, you're so oblivious to the sacrifices that your mom
Yeah.
makes and delivers for you. But once you become a mom, and I mean, and God forbid if any woman is dealing with infertility and you might not be able to be a mom, you probably even have more sympathetic because you don't know what your mother went through with infertility, right? But it's just one of those things as a mom, you're like, every single time you came home crying, I was crying.
Mhm.
Like, it doesn't matter if you have boys or girls. If they're it's like you bury the weight of their sadness,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, for sure, for sure.
That's just one thing. And
That
and you and I both have been through divorce, and even in our selfish moments of like divorce,
Yep.
when we saw them hurting over one little thing, they
Oh,
better believe that we felt it.
it tears us. It
Mhm.
completely tears us. And it's
Absolutely.
when I saw my kids upset and then they seem to bounce back maybe a little bit quicker than I am. Like, I
Mhm.
always felt like I was feeling it longer than they were because I
Yeah.
wanted to make sure I didn't quite "Are you sure you're okay?" It's like those
Yeah.
things, and so I couldn't be okay until I completely knew that they were okay.
Yeah. And my boys bounce back faster too, and I always thought because they were boys, they're just like like it's less emotional for them, but sometimes I would still get stuck in the emotional and coddling and saying, "Are you sure, baby? Are you
Yeah.
sure?"
Yeah.
Because it really the pain just hurts.
Yeah.
You know, their first I think about like that first owie that they get, or that first kid who teases them at school, or the first boyfriend or girlfriend breakup, right? Like you feel it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, like, those topics right there, like, did your mom, like, I know your mom passed early on, but, like, did mom
No,
not share,
no,
like, how do
Renee,
you get over it?
my real mother is alive. My
Yes.
birth mother is alive.
Oh, that's
She from as long as I can remember has done drugs.
right. Mhm.
And I've tried having her in my life and then very quickly out of my life. So I've never been able to keep her in my life long enough to be
Yeah.
able to have mom conversations,
Right.
which
Right.
is another thing. A mom doesn't tell you, or you don't realize as a mom that there were some choices and things that your mom could have done to
Mhm.
be better, but that you're going to screw up
Yes.
as a mom. And how you make it right. So taking accountability for your actions, not putting blame on other people. My mother was so bad about putting blame on other people. It's always other people's fault of why she couldn't pick us up, why she couldn't see us, why. But it's never like, I've done drugs. I've always done them.
Yeah.
I'm going to take accountability. There are moments when I left you dry. I
Yeah.
brought you into homes that you shouldn't have been in, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So just something it's something that as moms, we have to be able to forgive, but we had a really good topic a couple of weeks ago, right? Where we have to be able to humbly have that healthy conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, we gonna go down another path, but I
I know.
feel like right, we always do that.
We do.
That I've had those conversations. I've tried to have that realistic because I didn't have that from necessarily, 100% transparency from my mom. I wanted my
See?
kids to also see that besides a mom, I'm a woman. And
Yeah.
I'm not perfect. And if I make a mistake, like, feel free, call me out on it in a nice way. We're family. Like,
Yes.
let's talk
Yes.
about it because I'm learning. There's no guide to motherhood. There's no like picture perfect way to be a mother, right? And I'm
Yes,
gonna talk
there's
about
no
this.
I mean, even now, there's not a whole lot of books.
No, and you know what? I can't say it's trial and error, but in a way, it's trial and error. It's like you're going
Yeah.
through the motions, and all moms, we're still growing up too. We're
Yeah.
still dealing with our past. We're still dealing with
Yeah.
issues. So, as transparent as we want to be, I mean, sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes maybe it's
Mhm.
not so good. But, that's one of the things that, I wish my mom was a little bit more transparent about the struggles that she was having,
Yeah.
whether it was financial or emotional, because, and I know we don't
Mhm.
want to put the burden like,
On your children. Yeah. Yeah, you might be froze. She freezes at least once a show, y'all, but I could be froze. I don't know. But I get what you're saying, Renee, about like you don't want your kids to have that financial burden, like if you're dealing with
yeah,
it, but you just want them to be a little honest. Like, hey, mom's struggling this month a
yeah.
little. There's some things that we have to do and we have to cut back on.
Right, right. Or, I'm just not in the right headspace for XYZ.
Mhm.
I'm struggling with some things. You're going to end up struggling with it, but I'll get through it, like, not to scare the kids, and of course it
Watch
depends on the age
For them
appropriate.
to
But
watch you get out of it.
yes, yes, because
That's
that's
the
the biggest
beauty
thing.
is like yes.
Right? We want to show that we're gonna fail and we're gonna screw up a lot in our lives, but it's
Yes.
okay. You're gonna get through it. I think a lot of the younger generation, they there's that need of, everything is quick and they don't know necessarily how to deal with dissatisfaction or
Yeah.
waiting on an opportunity or
Mhm.
not getting what they want when they want it, right? And so when they have a mishap in life, it seems to be even more devastating and
Yeah.
triggered. I fucking hate that word, by the way. Can we just like eliminate that from the vocabulary? If I hear one more young person say that, I was so triggered because like right, to you, like to me that just claw my eyeballs out.
I've seen people actually have to like veterans, um, battered
Oh,
wives, who truly like people who
yeah,
have been abused, like truly one
right.
little thing
Yeah,
darts at them and it's like a flashback to that
yeah,
moment.
yeah.
And so do we call it a trigger? But I've witnessed people actually experience those quote unquote triggers. Yes, I do not like it being
I
thrown
get
out there like life is a trigger because life
right,
isn't a trigger. Now,
right.
if you have real, true trauma that has happened to you and you have a true trigger, you're not going around saying, that triggered me.
Yeah.
You're working through it and
Mhm.
having that moment and literally living like your life is right gonna
Yeah,
like you're gonna lose your life again or whatever that moment was. So yes, I don't like it thrown out there like it's just like let's go to the grocery store kind of shit. No, I
yeah.
don't like
I'm so triggered because I didn't get my mocha macchiato with the way I wanted it, and it made me like crazy. Like when I hear
that.
that shit, that's what makes me go like, eh.
Yeah,
Like your
exactly.
mama needed to teach you that you're gonna go through life and you're gonna get fucking triggered every damn day, but it's how you respond
Yeah.
to it, right?
Well, and, and speaking about, like, not triggers, but I gotta go get my mocha latte, is, just so all you kids know, like, we wanted that last piece of cake. We wanted that latte that we couldn't get because we had to take care of you. We wanted to buy ourselves something, but instead we bought it for you,
Yeah,
right? Like these are things that, you aren't really talked about. And it's like when you're parenting and you see that Starbucks and you're driving by and you're like, oh, I really could use one, but I can't today because I need to go get this and this and this and this for them.
yep, yep, exactly, exactly, and, and happily so. I did that we do that happily so,
Absolutely.
and I
We do
wi
everything for them. Like
yeah,
our whole life and our whole being. Like they don't know. And if we had to say it, it's um I would have jumped in front of a car for you and I still will.
yep,
Like that's the
absolutely,
biggest thing that what mamas never say.
yep, absolutely, and if somebsomebody hurts my kids, watch the fuck out.
Yeah, I'll end up in jail. I say that all the time. I'm like, I was joking with some girls and I'm like, because we got on the subject of, like, sex offenders in the area, and I was like, "Let a mother effer get near my grandbaby,"
Mhm,
right? Because we only have, like, 1 where I live, but I looked up what it was for, so I'm not as concerned for little babies, but, it's disgusting and gross, but I'm like, I always had that fear with my boys is don't go here, don't do that. If any, who touches your pee pee? Who can touch it? You're always saying those things and you're like, only you, right? And you're so scared all the time about it because let a mother effer
yep,
hurt one of my babies.
yep,
I'll
mhm,
just be like, take me to jail.
right,
Just go right on ahead. I'll do my time because it
yep,
was worth it.
yep, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely,
I
and,
will I will get crazy. I don't have the Italian in me like you do, Renee, but you better watch it. That Native American girl.
it's gonna come right out, yep, yep. One of the things that I wish, and I don't wanna make this sound bad because, of course, like, my mother did the best she could, but, we didn't have the financial means. So I grew up not understanding or having appreciation of financial security and,
Yeah.
future and investments. And I think that's one thing also schools lack because, I
Yeah.
think learning how to
Yeah.
invest, balance a checkbook, like basic
Yes.
economic stuff that, I had to teach myself and really into my, older years. That's the stuff that I really wish. And I try to like, instill and preach to to my kids, to our kids is like, you need to invest and do that when you're young. And, you know, buy stocks and put in 401k and save up money for real estate property and like all those things that I didn't have, that nurture, that structure, that even the expectation. I mean, the expectation was to get
Yeah.
married and have somebody take care of you. So, you know,
Oh, my dad, because my mom was absent, it was really my dad there. So my dad always talked to us about this, exactly what you're saying, because he ran businesses from the time I was in diapers.
yeah,
Okay, so he was always like, "Pay yourself first." This was like the best advice, and I know this doesn't have anything to do with my dad. Had to kind of take a dual role as a mama, right? So he did say some good things, but he said this, Renee. He said, "Pay yourself first," and
mm,
I was like, the hell is this man talking about? Because I didn't get it. He
mhm,
goes, it doesn't matter how much money you make, daughter. It matters what you do with it. And then one day, I don't know when, Renee, but it clicks, right?
yep,
And you're like, okay, so if I make 20,000 a year and I pay myself 5,000 and I invest that, I put it into savings, I put it into a
yep,
an IRA or whatever it may look like,
yep,
it's what I do with it. Now, can I manage to live off of 15,000?
mhm, mhm,
Or if I make 100,000, can I manage to live off of 90,000 and then I'm going to do something with that 10? It
right,
didn't click.
right,
And it was after he passed that all of these tips of
yep,
what should have said, it just you're just in that mode of like, "Oh god, here he goes again."
yep, yep,
And he always said, put so much away, and just pretend like it went away and learn to live off of this.
right,
And if
right,
you can do that, you'll always be in a good spot. Like, and it's just those little life lessons that you're just like, damn, had
yeah,
I really listened to him. So then I started like telling my kids that, and I have one child who does it.
yep,
This child will put so much of his paycheck into his savings, and he just pretends like it's not there. It doesn't exist. And I'm just like, I'm so proud of you. He's a
yeah,
little on the greedy side. Don't get me wrong. He's a little on the greedy side, but I'm like, okay, somebody does it. And then I have my younger one who's really, really good at like money
yeah,
and paying bills and really, really responsible. And then I have one that really is just like a minimalist,
mhm.
and he's just totally content.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
see. I mean, luckily my oldest, has a full-time job now after her graduating with what, 80 years of school. Um, but she's always been the frugal one. She is always like she squeaks when she walks. I'm like, "Girl, you can
Oh,
spend some money, like, it's okay." She's starting to get, a little bit better as far as doing things for herself, but she's always kept the money tight to her account, which
yeah.
is great. Like, she's not, spending frivolously.
And
So now
maybe
it's
it's us, like, though maybe it's us because we didn't get told really how to manage it, and
yeah,
so then we started, like, maybe always saying what my dad was kinda saying, but my dad would say it in a way that I just couldn't get him, and so and then it clicked for
yeah,
them somewhere, or I
yeah.
don't know. I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. I mean, I hope, well, the jury's out. I think, they'll be good as far as because I've had those conversations as far as the importance of investing and the importance of
Yeah,
not relying on a man. And, it's okay to make more money than a man does. And it's okay, like, keep that and, have your together fund. And that's the
yeah.
other thing is, growing up. And I think it's the times, it's the, generations. I think a lot
It
of that.
was, yeah.
Right, because nowadays it's like have your account, have his account, and have your shared account. No
Mhm.
more of this bullshit of having one account and you're trusting each other. You can
My
love and trust each
son
other, but I'm sorry, you better have your own stash too.
my son just brought that up because his girlfriend, who I know he wants to marry one day, is was like, we need to have a joint account. She's like, okay, we can have a joint account, but I think we should still have our own savings. And he says, Mom, what do you think? And I said, look, I am for everyone having a little bit, and there's a couple of reasons why. It's not to be sneaky, but let's
No.
just say that you wanted to buy her a gift and you don't want her to see what you put out of your account.
Yep.
I said, "You can't." I
Right.
said, "Secondly, if and when or God forbid something were to happen,
Mhm.
you have a little stash and then
Mhm.
you guys can split, because these are things that you don't really think about. Do
Yeah,
I absolutely agree with it? No, but everybody should have like their own little stash of what is truly honestly theirs. You
yeah.
know what I mean? Like I told my husband, I was like, if I pass, you need to look in drawers, you need to look in pockets, you need to look under the
Yeah,
bed, right? Because you know
yeah.
what? I think our generation hoarded money because we were so poor.
Exactly, because we didn't have it. And that's why I am a huge advocate of having your own money. And it's not like you said, it's not for the sneakiness. But
Mhm.
if you and your partner have the same goals, right? And the respect for money, because you have to respect money in order to have an abundance of money. And you have to say, like, okay, we have our bills that we put together. We're going to put money into retirement, into investment, into savings. So once
Together.
all of those things are done, anything
Mhm.
that's left over. So then if you want to go to the spa, you don't feel like you're taking the money out of your joint account to do that, right? If he wants to go and buy tickets to a baseball game with his buddies, he doesn't feel like he's taking that out of the family fund, you know? Like I just think that that's so important to be able to just have that fuck it fund. Like that's what it is. It's that fuck it fund that I preach about, right? If you want to do something, just go ahead and fucking do it because it's not going to affect you're
Mhm.
taking care of your family. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
as long as the goals always have to remain the same and that respect
yeah,
for each other when it
yeah,
comes to money too.
yeah.
Like I have a really like horrible story, but it's a good lesson. There's a man that I know very, very well. I ended up marrying him. No, so sometimes you're like, shoot, do I really want to put it out there to the world? Well, anyways, he was married to this other lady once upon a time. And once upon a time, he would work like 80 hours a week. And when he would come home, there wouldn't even be dinner for him. Right. But yet one day he came home and there was a Louis Vuitton bag that was bought with the receipt on the table. And, that's not respect,
Yeah,
right? So you didn't talk to me about it. You didn't like really ask if that is something that we could do together that you wanted. Cause if you wanted it and we talked about it, I might be willing to actually want to give that to you because I love you.
yeah,
But you can't even leave me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And I'm the one that's, providing you to be home. Like, there's that mutual respect.
there's a
And
mutual
I think that something else that moms don't tell us is that sometimes you don't get the respect that you want from the spouse that you love.
absolutely, absolutely. You made me think of a story that, happened, and it shows and it validates the lack of respect. And in
Mhm.
my marriage, I recall the moment where he told me that he bought his brother a motorcycle, didn't talk to me about it. I at the
Wow.
point, I was a stay-at-home mom. I had worked all those years prior, but I was a stay-at-home mom, and so I wasn't earning an
Mhm.
income, and he was basically like, "Screw you, it's my money, I'll do whatever the hell I want with it." And I was
Yeah.
just, like, blown away. There right there is a perfect example of the lack of respect for the person that you're with.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
I had some, one of my biggest reasons for divorce with the first husband was money.
yeah.
It was like a constant. If I was managing the money, we were fine. If he was managing the money, it was like sneaky. And
Oh,
it never felt secure. Like, okay, I'm gonna take care of this. And then I get this $500 bill and I'm like, you never took care of it. Whenever you're promised over and over, like, I'm gonna do it. No, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. And you just kind of like, okay, fine. I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm gonna
yeah,
trust that you're gonna do it. Like, there has to be that mutual respect. And I think that moms sometimes take on a lot of that burden. They say that 1 in 4 women will be solely responsible for all of the income at least once in their life.
yes, and
I
that's
mean,
great lesson to remember because I had, allowed because he was the one that was providing and he took care of all the bills. So then it
yeah,
was the realization of going, now, even though it's not like I didn't know how to take care of bills. I lived on my own
yeah,
years prior, but
it's just,
everyone needs
It's
to.
how you guys agreed to live at that time.
Yeah, exactly. But everybody needs to have that sense of understanding finances. And I think that that's
Mhm.
something that, um, we're
And
trying to instill to our kids because we didn't get.
yes. And, you know, and having boys, Renee, in, they really, I mean, it's very rare that a young man is going to grow up and say, "I wanna be a stay-at-home dad. I'm gonna look for a woman that makes the money, and I'm gonna stay home with the kids." Like, they don't just wish that. That's just not something that they just, so they really are growing up to be solely responsible for
Right,
finances. That's how they think, that's how they think, and so having boys, you have to, like, also have that consciousness of like he is the man, he is going to be doing this forever, and having that sensitivity for them as a mother of like, hey, you also have to have your best interest at heart too, but you also need to know how to take care of your spouse when they need it, right? So
yeah,
as a mother of boys, it's a little different because I think as having all girls, my dad had all girls, right? And you have 2 daughters, so
mhm,
you're teaching them how to be okay on your own, and
yeah,
it's okay if you don't have a man take care of you. When you have boys, they always have to be on their own.
right, right.
That's how
True.
society has had,
Yeah,
so,
yeah,
and as a mom, you take on that burden both sides.
yep,
Um,
yep.
so,
Yeah, no,
yeah.
that's a good point. Another thing about moms that I do love is that she tried to share um, cooking. Like,
I love it, she tried to share.
there are some genes that I just did not get. And, the the girly things like sewing, cooking, like that shit, that's just not my wheelhouse. My
Mhm.
mother would wallpaper, and as soon as I heard she was wallpapering or painting, I ran out of the fucking house. I'm like, that is just not for me at all. But one thing that now with technology and video, of course, we didn't have a lot of that. We didn't have any of that. But you know what I wanna do? Because she has like, there are certain things that she's great at cooking, but terrible at writing down recipes, is to record her doing it. And then
Aw.
that's something to leave for generations,
Yeah, my
right?
cousin made all of us a family recipe book. So it has
Yeah,
her mom's recipes, my
yep,
grandma's recipes, my aunt Emily's, my grandpa's, my dad's. My
yep.
dad's my dad's refried beans were like the best. Something that my stepmom, who is like the best baker, and God, I wish I heard had her genes. My baby sister has her genes, and
Aw,
they both can bake.
yep,
When I say bake, and I don't have the baking gene either. I mean, I can cook, Renee, but not the baking gene. No, it just no. I don't like having to measure it and make sure it's accurate and perfect. And yeah, my stepmom, she could bake her ass off. This stuff is good.
yeah. My
Yeah.
grandmother used to do wedding cakes, and, like, the way she would decorate the
Oh,
cakes and the frosting,
oh my
like, it
God, I'm
was
so jealous.
oh, it's beautiful. I mean, I wish we recorded it and did it, but I don't have the interest level in that
Yeah,
type of, you know,
stuff.
work. I don't. There's
Yeah.
certain things that I can cook really well and that I enjoy cooking when I enjoy cooking it. But
Yes.
and there's certain things I can bake well, like my grandmother's Italian pizzelles or the Italian egg biscuit. Like
Oh.
those are the things that bring me joy in the holidays because it kinda is like, pieces of my family, but, other
No.
than that, I don't care about cooking.
So, speaking of cooking, something that our moms didn't tell us is that we were forever, ever, we wanted to grow up so fast as teenagers. Like, I can't
Yeah,
wait to be old and be out of here. Okay,
yeah,
but they forgot to tell us that we are going to forever have to cook all the time, go grocery shopping, have laundry constantly, and it never ever goes away, and
oh,
dishes all the time.
all the time. What are we having for dinner this week? What are we having for dinner?
Every day.
I am so
What am I
fucking
having for breakfast? What am I having for dinner? What am I like when
oh
you're a
my
kid, your
god.
mom just does it and you
And then
complain
how
about
you
everything she
right,
does.
right.
You are
You were
such a little brat.
complaining.
You're like, "Are we really having that again?"
Yes,
And you just want to be like, "Yes, bitch.
yeah,
Yes, we're having it
right?
again."
But it was done for us. Or we would bitch,
Yeah.
"Can you help me?"
One of my favorite things that my stepmom always used to say, she would always be like, "Tonight is cereal for dinner," and we'd all be like, "Yeah!" Like, it's so stupid, but she needed that night off.
Yes. Yes.
And I didn't know, like, she
Yeah.
didn't tell me, like, how stressful it was to cook every single meal.
Yeah.
When she said cereal for dinner, we're like, "Hell yeah, mom,"
Oh, so thrilled. Yep, pancakes for supper. Oh, we
Yes,
were like, yeah, but we didn't realize it's because she was like,
it's
"I am
easy.
fucking done. I'm done.
Yes, I am
Pain in
exhausted,
my
and same
asses."
for us with the kids, you're just like they're like, "We're eating this again?"
Yeah,
And this one wants ketchup, this one wants mustard, this one doesn't care, and you're, like, trying to figure out which one, like, likes what and what
yeah,
color plate they gotta have, right? Like, they have
yeah.
their special plate, special bowl,
Oh,
special
right,
spoon.
I remember those, yeah. Yep, for sure, I remember those. What are some of the other things that
Oh.
you wish you knew?
Um,
Um,
that you carry a baby longer than 9 months. My boys have no idea. Your girls are gonna sympathize one day.
yeah.
Your one getting married, she's gonna have
Mhm.
babies, hopefully in a couple of years or something, so she's gonna know real quick, right? But as a mom, you don't realize that you really do carry that baby for almost a year.
Yeah, it's a hell of a long time. And what your body does to you, the
Yeah,
changes in your body, that's
yeah,
another thing that, isn't really spoken about from moms, at least. It's
yeah.
spoken about with
But your mom doesn't pass that down to your mom's not like, "Okay, so now this is what your body's gonna look like."
yeah,
Yeah, no.
exactly. Nor
Mhm.
did we wanna really probably didn't wanna know. I still don't wanna know what my body looks like. I hate it. It's like the saggy boobs, like, what the fuck? Like,
Well,
everything just goes south, and it's not even just the winter, it just goes south permanently, and it sucks. The belly, the
I think
boob.
my I think my oldest child from my mama hips, because when you have a baby, you suddenly get that beautiful hourglass. It
Yes,
just is like instant, right? So I
yeah.
think my oldest for my mama hips, I call him my mama hips because I didn't get stretch marks with him. So I thank him for my mama hips. I thank my middle one for giving me all the stretch marks and for literally teaching me what it's like to be a very, very heavy set woman. Because that is what he did to me. Now my baby, I was very small chested, like always like a BC. I
Yeah.
mean, I know that's probably more average, but after I had my third one, my boobs have never gone away.
Oh,
I've always
wow.
I've always been a D or double D, Renee, always after
Wow.
my third one. So I was like, so now I got to thank him for giving me boobs. So
Wow.
I mean, hey, you
Yeah.
you, you got to find the gratefulness in motherhood, right? Or you
Oh,
just
yeah.
gonna crawl in a
You
corner
know
and
what? My mom didn't tell me, and I don't know why my waist is getting closer to my boobs. Like, my waist seems to be going higher. Tony was like, "Where the fuck are your pants?" Like, it almost seems like I'm gonna be wearing my pants
high
from
waisted.
yeah, like, my waist is going higher. Like, I
That's
don't
weird.
understand. I
I don't
know.
understand that. I don't know that one. I don't know that one yet. I'm gonna hold off on that one. Ask me in a
Okay,
couple
so
years.
there's Mama Renee telling you all as you get older, your belly goes down, the second, the neck goes
The world's a
down,
little
everything
tricky.
everything goes south except for the
It
waist
does.
gets higher.
That's so odd. Hmm. They say your hands shrink, your toes shrink, but as a person, the older you get, your nose gets bigger, your ears get bigger. So I'm like, oh God, if my nose gets any more bigger, good Lord.
I mean, thank God for learning how to contour because, you know,
Amen. Yes.
God. And the other thing that Mama doesn't tell you is if you're Italian Portuguese, you're gonna have more hair on your fucking face. I mean, that sucks.
And then, and another thing your mom doesn't tell you about hair is that I used to watch my aunt pluck her little chin
Yes.
hairs. And I was like, "Oh my god, what is she doing?" Like, she would just, like, sit in the sun with her little round thing. Okay, girl, they don't tell you that everybody gets them. It's just not some aunts, it's not just some women. every female, you're going to get a little something, something on your chin, your neck, and girl, you just take care of it as fast as you can. And you hope that sun does not hit it and see it.
Yep. I'll tell you, that's one of my fears getting older is that I'm gonna go blind. As we're recording this, I'm getting those little floaties in my eyes.
My husband has those.
So, yeah, I was like, last time I went to the eye doctor, they were like, "Yeah, onset cataracts." And I'm like, "What the fuck? Great." But so I had those little floaties. So as I'm saying this, like one of my biggest fears is that I'm not gonna have the means to see them and,
See,
use my
yeah.
dermaplaning tool to
Yeah,
shave.
because the Derma Planner is great because it really does great things for your skin, but you still have to get those real thick little ones, you
It's
know?
amazing when you
You
pluck
can't
it out,
just
you're like, "Holy shit, it's long.
yeah,
This is
because that's what I'm
long."
saying, like, if the sun
Right.
hits it and you got a long one and you
Yes,
miss that shit, I mean, oh, the
yes.
best place to pluck, ladies okay, listen up. Are you ready for this? Carry a pair of tweezers in your car because you get the best sunlight in that car. And if you ever look in the mirror or at your chin or at your neck or your eyebrows, you can pluck them the best there. Like
Yes.
that's the place. Oh my
That
gosh.
that
It's
is a
so
great place.
scary.
However, I need like the 10x magnifying glass. So that's the other thing is like traveling
You
is
know you're old though, Renee, when you can feel it, get tweezers, and you get it on the first try. You don't even need a mirror because you're like,
right?
I know exactly where this one is.
Yeah, exactly. And because I do it like all the time, I'm always like conscious of it. Thank God for the magnifying mirror in the bathroom. It's like, oh my God, it's almost like it's daily. I'm not going to say almost, it's daily. And but traveling because it's
You
hard
don't
to
have
get
that.
like the
Yeah.
big, I don't want to carry a big mirror that's going to
Yeah.
break. But most hotels, their magnifying mirrors suck.
Yeah, it's very dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Or it doesn't magnify it.
Oh, mama. Oh,
But yeah,
mama.
those are the things, like, I wish mama told me to carry that, tweezer with me all the time. A
Yeah.
tweezer, a nail file, that's the other
Yes, and
thing I
yes,
carry
have a
with me
nail
all the time.
file.
Yep.
Yes. Um, Something else that moms don't tell their kids or we weren't told is that and this one like kind of just gets me a little choked up because I have this little thing that I did. You watch your kids when they're sleeping.
Oh god, yeah.
Ugh,
Yep, yep.
it is I don't know, how would you describe it? It's like
It is so calming. That and hugging them, smelling their hair, smelling them,
oh, yes,
right?
yes, and getting those big, huge hugs. I mean, like, they would hug you so tight, like
Yep,
you were their world,
yep,
and watching them when they sleep, it's like you're so exhausted, you're so tired, all you can do is like, "I gotta get these kids to sleep," and the minute they sleep and they are just peaceful and they're happy and they're healthy,
yep.
and it's like this is what I did, is I would say, "Are those really mine?
Mm,
Are
yeah,
those really mine?" I would say it all the time. I would just look at them and I'd say, "Wow." And I still
yeah.
do this to this day, Renee, when my adult kids, like my oldest, I don't know what happens. He must be really tired because the minute he comes to my house and sits on my couch, he falls asleep. But when he is asleep, even to this day, I just
I love it. I love it. I love seeing it makes me remember the sweat, like when they
yeah,
sleep on
yeah.
one side and they wake up and their whole side of their face is like drenched in sweat, and then you pick them up and it's just like, yeah,
Yeah,
they'll know when they have kids for sure, but those are those precious moments that you just, oh,
I don't know what it is. It's
yeah,
like watching them just watching the breath and the breathing, and if it's sunlight outside and the light just shining on them, it's just something so
yeah,
magical, and
yeah.
you're like, "Did I really do that?"
Did I
Like, I
do
really
that?
did that.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep, I love that.
that's
But
something, that really, really I don't know, it's just,
yeah.
I
You know, another thing that I wish that, and I think it goes back to
Mhm.
generations, is the lack of transparency for mental health. And, you know,
Yeah.
taking care of ourselves as women, as, kids and boys, whatever we're raising. But, the fact how important mental health is, and coming from,
Yeah.
a family that had my biological father committed suicide, you know,
Oh,
nobody
babe.
really talked about it. It
Yeah.
was not a
Ugh.
topic that people discussed, and or therapy or anything like that. Never. That was not something you did.
Yeah, because that's a generational curse in some
Yeah.
cases where, things those mental health things carry through, so if it's
Yep.
not talked about, and that's one thing I know we don't always sorry, younger generation. I know we don't always talk great about the younger generation, and I'm talking about, like, the 16 to 21-year-olds,
Yeah.
right? But, they're doing a really good job. They overdo
Yeah.
it a little, okay? Let's just be honest, they overdo it. But they are doing a good job of making sure that they do take those moms or those millennial moms or a little bit younger than the millennials now are really taking those times to recognize when they need to just to stand back,
Yeah.
take a deep breath, pass the child on when it doesn't feel healthy or you feel like you're overstimulated or overwhelmed, right? So I do wish exactly that could have been better at that, and I could have modeled it better,
Yes. Yeah.
right? Because when I was overstimulated or stressed or had a mental health day, you don't get time just to take a mental health day off. Okay, you're
No.
a mom.
No.
But could I have handled it different instead of losing my shit?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep, I'm right there with you, because there was no time, and that's the thing is, we were both single moms for a period of
Mhm,
time, and
mhm.
there's no what mental health break are we going to
Yeah.
take?
No, no.
What are we gonna do? We talk to our girlfriends, we scream, we're losing our shit. It's like we're in survival mode. But
Yeah.
that's something that, I wish that moms were, transparent about, going like, you're gonna have these breakdowns, right? You're gonna have these times where you need to speak to somebody, and it's okay to do that. And, prepare, like, have a plan going when you recognize that, do you have a kill switch? Do you have somebody that you
Yeah.
can, who's your in case of emergency, break the ice, right? Break that window to get
Yeah.
the help that you need,
Yeah.
and, a lot of women can't afford also to
Mhm.
go and talk to
Mhm.
somebody. That's the other thing too. And then you go
Mhm.
on TikTok and you see what's scary is that, you see something on social media that validates what you're thinking,
Yeah.
but it may not be the correct way
Yeah.
of handling
Yeah.
it, but
Mhm.
because you watch the
You
videos,
think it's okay.
you think it's okay, and the algorithm is saying, "Oh, let's give that person more of that same content,"
Yeah.
which over validates wrongness or over validates something it shouldn't, I've
So
noticed that a lot. I've noticed
that's
that a
rough.
lot. Yep.
I noticed, like, my grandson is at the age right now, and I mean, it's a little different than what you're speaking about because what you're speaking about is, like, probably a whole topic on its own, Renee. Like, it's scary what's happening mentally to
Yeah,
people because the more you see it, the more you hear it, it's brainwashing, right?
that's exactly.
But my grandson is now, like he watches ads. It's not commercials anymore. It's ads. Okay. We have to be honest here. They are commercials, but it's ads. So, he's so cute and he comes to me, he goes, "Oh, Ma, I know how you can scrub the tiles. I
Oh,
know I got you the cleaner. We need to get you the cleaner so you could scrub the tiles." Like he's recognizing that what he sees can be for a family member.
mhm.
"Oh, look, they have coffee for adults, not for kids, for adults. We should buy daddy some."
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
No, I know. It's
yeah,
it's cra- it's crazy. So that lets you know like really what that screen time even for us adults and justifying, like you said. I mean, and mamas can't tell you that. You got to go through it on your own, right? Because we're the generation that didn't know how to raise kids with social media.
right.
So yeah,
And that's
we
the
were the
thing, we had to, we learn it as they're learning it. I mean, obviously, they're much, they're further advanced than we are with a lot of it, but, um, social media is
they're gonna do differently with their kids with social media. because we didn't know, because it was just new things were coming out constantly. So we didn't know what was right, what was it. My son, one day I was like, yeah, I was like, well, when you have your own kids one day, he goes, well, my kids won't be on YouTube ever. And I was just like, why?
Yeah. Yeah.
He he's like, "Do you see the stuff that I saw?" And I was like, "No, I didn't
Right.
know." But
No.
that scares me, because if you're that scared for your child to be on, what did I miss?
Yep. Yep. For sure. For sure. Yeah.
Ooh,
You know what I wish that we also do, and then we'll probably wrap this up, but I wish that my mom almost forced me or had like this manual of here's the practical things as a woman, as a mom, as a wife that you should know how to do. And it's, sew a
aw.
button or it's cook these fantastic meal, like the regular stuff, the everyday stuff, right?
Yeah.
If you have this issue, this is what you do. If you want to cook this is what you do. If you like,
How to keep your house clean when things are chaotic. Yeah.
just the simple things. I think we need
No.
to get back to that. Maybe that's what I'll do is I'll create a little manual and leave it to them. One thing that my mother and my grandmother always did as we became adults, they gave us, do you know those metal cookie tins that you can find at like dollar stores, Christmas tree shop in the
Yeah.
day, and like the old cookies. So once those were empty, they clean it out and then they put sewing kits in there.
Yeah, that's what you said.
So, yeah, so that's one thing that, I do like that we have. I still have it, but I'm I don't use it because I don't know how.
I think it's beautiful though, and it's definitely something that you can pass down generation after
Yeah,
generation after generation.
yeah,
Last thing before we say goodbye, and I wore the hat for this conversation, was something moms don't always tell us is that sometimes it just is what it is, ladies.
yep. I love
As a
that.
mom, it is what it is. And Renee, it's always such a pleasure to be on here with you. I
I
love you,
know.
girl.
I love you too. I'm so glad we're able to share and stay tuned for the next Unapologetically Badass podcast because I'm sure it's going to be great. And if you have comments, please comment below, share us. And if there is a specific topic that you would love us to talk about or a guest that you would love us to talk to, then please DM us and follow us on your favorite social media. Have a great one all.
Bye.
Bye, sweetie. All right, Queens, that's a wrap for today's episode. But before you hit pause, let's talk about you and how we can help you slay every part of your life. If you're ready to feel fabulous and look like $1,000,000, I've got you covered with my badass queen coaching, sparkling touchstone crystal jewelry, and Bella Grace collagen because glowing skin and a sparkly vibe, that's a power move. Check it all out at ReneeCarbonefleming.com. And my co-host Sierra, oh yeah, she's bringing the heat too. Not only is she rocking Bella Grace Collagen for her glow game, but she's also the queen of chic with her fabulous clothing boutique. From boosting your wellness to leveling up your wardrobe, Sierra's got the magic to help you shine inside and out. Check her out at Linktree/Sierra Whitener 7. So here's the deal. Head to our websites, grab the goods that'll help you live your best life, and let's make everything about you unapologetically badass. And hey, don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review, and share this episode with your fellow queens because the more sparkle in the world, the better. Until next time, keep glowing, keep slaying, and remember, you're a badass queen who deserves it all.